We are off to the gym. I just thought that I would do a intro to this video before we get started, and I'm going to show you what I will do in a day, especially on holiday, on a cut. I've basically been cutting since I think I started mid-April. I've lost 4.5 kg. So I'm just editing and realised I missed out a couple of bits about how many calories I'm eating. I'm now minus 200 calories from my maintenance. And when I was bulking, I was in a surplus of 200 calories from my maintenance. I won't go any lower than what I'm at now, just because for women especially, if you lower your calories too much, it's not healthy. The last thing I want to do is lose my period or anything like that. The reason why I won't tell you exactly how many calories I'm eating is because everybody's body is different, and I'm shorter than the average person, so I'm 5'1", and so what I will need compared to somebody that's 5'6", for example, will be really different. But if you want to calculate your calories, you can just find an online calorie calculator, work out what your maintenance is, and then go from there. I think at the start of my cut, I started off really slowly, so I'd take off maybe like 30 to 50 calories per week. And then as I've gone on, I've kind of got a bit more strict with myself, so I've included more cardio, which I'll talk about, but I've basically been doing 2 runs a week and 3 10k walks a week.
Have a look at the time, 10 to 8.
Hello. Fenna and I are on a morning walk. We're halfway in, 2.2k. We're behind schedule, Fenna. This is Fenna's first 10k walk.
Is it? No, it's not.
Yes, it is. With
Too long.
Oh, I think this is a dead end. Is it? Was there? Oh, up here. Not happy about that.
I'm not happy about it.
Oh.
I'm good.
I mean, the terrain isn't ideal, but we're working with it. 3.9, no, 2.9. Okay.
I was going to say.
Fenna's already tired.
I'm knackered.
With the morning walks, you need to do it so it's like speedy walking to get your heart rate up. But then I don't really understand anything about heart rates. Like, I haven't been tracking my cut so specifically in terms of, like, you know, a lot of people talk about the fat burning zone.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand that, so I haven't been. But then again,
I don't think it's that complicated. I think it's just burning calories, lose fat.
Yeah. But then, yeah.
The faster you walk, the more you burn.
Yeah.
So you get me?
And I think that, so I've been doing fasted walking. I don't even know if fasted makes a difference, but it's just a really good way to get all your steps in.
Yeah.
But 3 times a week I'll do speedy 10k walks, and then I'll run twice.
Right.
But like just 5k, chill, because otherwise it's just way too much volume. Right. But a lot of people do like Stairmaster. Like, I spoke to 2 bodybuilders in the gym that were cutting, and they swear by doing the Stairmaster for like 45 minutes. But I can't really think of anything worse. And I like also the thought of being inside working all day and then going to the gym and being on like the treadmill or the Stairmaster for another hour on top of your workout.
Yeah, no.
Awful.
Yeah.
Although maybe next year I'll try it and see if there's much difference.
We're going to set into Greece. Obviously a 2-2 stomp.
2-2 stomp.
In Menorca, Benissafua area.
The main thing that I've changed since my bulk to my cut is, in terms of cardio, is I've literally kept running the same. I'm maybe not pushing myself as much because like I'm literally knackered all the time from not having as much carbs, and also because I'm doing these long 10k walks.
Okay, guys, we did it. Time to eat.
whilst I'm making my breakfast, I thought that I would show you guys the kind of things that I'm eating. Granted, on holiday, so one thing about me, and one thing about a lot of people that are bulky and cutting, people tend to eat the same things. A, because it's kind of easier, you can meal prep. I don't meal prep. It would probably help, but I just make my food fresh. If I look back at like even when I was at uni and not going to the gym, I pretty much would go through phases of just eating the same things, and then 6 months time like I change it up. So I just slapped my head on the side. Oh my god. The differences between my bulk and my cut is just like a lot to do with the macros and I guess volume eating. So volume eating, so what you want to do is try and find foods that are much higher in volume but lower in cal, and then you still kind of think about the macros and stuff like that. So, for example, in my bulk, I'd usually have like protein bars, protein shakes, more carbohydrates. For example, in my yogurt bar in the morning, I'd have more dates and things like that, just because like you're trying to hit your calorie goal and your protein goal, and having those kind of foods really helps. But in your cut, you need to kind of find foods that, A, snacks during the day that are really low calorie, that are going to be able to fuel you until your dinner. Having the yogurt bowls, I'll show you what I mean. If you've seen it on my Instagram story, you'll know what I'm talking about. Skyr yogurt with fruit, a couple of dates, and 1 square of Lindt salted dark chocolate. Mainly because I found that it's slightly lower calorie than the other dark chocolates. And listen, like, having the dark chocolate and the dates is not ideal for a cut, because the dates are high carb and the dark chocolate is really high fat and it's kind of high cal as well. But I like it and I really enjoy it, and it's the one thing that makes me excited to get up in the morning. I'm sacrificing some calories later on to have this in the morning. Something different that I've done is I actually haven't had cheat days. I did in my cut previously, but I haven't this time, mainly because I think I've kind of altered the diet to fit in little bits that I actually really enjoy. And you know, like, if you want like an ice cream or something, have it, but I just include it in my calories, and then I find that I'm not like having a cheat day and binging. When we're talking like snacks during the day, low calorie jelly, you can get like the 10 calorie pots, really good. I sometimes freeze them as well. I've been freezing them in the summer, and they're kind of like ice lollies. I would also have been having ice lollies, but I found that when I was having them at the end of the day, that some of them can be like kind of high carb, so they're like 15 grams of carbs for a little ice lolly that's 30 calories. And if you're at the end of your day, when you've had breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you're already at 150 grams of carbs, it's kind of just tips over the edge slightly. Another thing is things like this, which are really good. I haven't tucked into these yet, but really low calorie. You can get like the corn rice cakes, or you can get the ones with chocolate on. Again, can be high in carb. That's generally, to be honest, the type of snacks that I've been eating. And then lunch, I'll usually have chicken and rice, not gonna lie. I don't have sourdough and eggs anymore because the sourdough just kind of tips over a little bit, and then the eggs aren't high enough in protein. So I get like little sticky rice packets. I should really start making it, but it's called you might have seen it. They're honestly amazing. The best sticky rice in the entire world. I get that, and I have it with chicken, jalapenos, tomatoes. I'll try and put a picture up. I have like 200 grams of chicken, and then you're already in like, your protein's already really high. Then dinner, I've been making chicken Greek flatbreads, and it's basically like a flatbread. I'll try and put a picture up of this as well. Greek flatbreads, you can get them from any shop. Tzatziki, I'll get low fat one. Onion, olives, tomatoes, chicken, and I'll cook the chicken in oregano. It's amazing. Fairly simple on the diet side. So volume eating is a really big thing. Massive when you're on a cut. And things that will fill you up that are low calorie are going to be your things like your salads, your rices, jelly, my protein chocolate mousses. They're at 170 calories for one pot, 10 grams of carbs, and then 20 grams of protein. Unbelievable. And they're so filling. Alternatives that I'd have also during my cut is this instead of honey. It's from My Protein, not sponsored. They're just really good. They're called flavour drops, and I just add them to my yogurt. You can add them to your coffee. I've got the vanilla one. So I've basically done raspberries, cherries, salted dark chocolate, and some dates with some protein yogurt, and then the view, which is so nice. Before, when I've been on like cuts before, I've always gone for oats, but I've always found it really hard to have higher protein oats without having protein powder in them. And I know there are probably alternatives and things that you can add in, but every time I tried like protein oats, I didn't really like them. And with this, it's kind of lower carb. I mean, the dates are really high carb, but it's quite light, but it fills you up.
Coffee.
Hey, thank you. It fills you up for a long time, but it doesn't make you feel too heavy. So this is like the best option. And I don't know, something about me is that I go through phases. So I'll find something that I really like a food, and then I'll only eat that until I get sick of it. So I'll probably eat this for like 6 months, then I get sick of it. Because I literally had the exact same thing with my oats, and I was probably eating that for like a year, and then I changed to this because I saw it online. And dates, so good. Not ideal when you're on a cut. Obviously you can have I still eat them, but when I was bulking I'd have like 10 dates a day because I just love them so much. And I never really knew that I liked them. I thought I would always hate them, and I tried them last year, and they're literally the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. I'll have this with black coffee. There's no particular reason why black coffee, apart from the fact that when I was at uni doing my law degree, I needed something to keep me up for longer, and so I just started chugging black coffee. And I didn't even like coffee, but I forced myself to drink it because I just needed the energy. And then this is my lunch. I wouldn't usually have a sandwich in the UK, but yeah, why not? It's got parm ham, cheese, sliced ham, chicken, tomato, and a little bit of rocket. Something that I wanted to speak about going away and cutting. In terms of like going on a holiday, you want to enjoy yourself, and the one thing I was worried about was not having that. And I went away about a week ago, and it was sort of the first time that I'd been away this year and was cutting. I did find it really hard to start with because I was like, oh, can I have that? Can I not have that? And I didn't want to then not enjoy myself and feel like bad for the people that I'm with, that I can't fully relax and like eat what I want. So the thing that I've been doing to help on this holiday is like eating what I want and what I feel like, but keeping it within the calories that I've got. So I'm still tracking when I'm out here, but obviously when Fenna and I go for meals and stuff, I'm just eyeballing it. But then, for example, we went out to a restaurant the other night, and then we ended up getting like tiramisu and all that sort of stuff. When I was younger, if I eat a piece of cake, then all my progress is going to go away, but that's like really not the case. But because I am wanting to carry on my cut whilst we're away, because we're away for a few weeks, I'm just, keeping it within the calories. I'm not focusing on carbs, because realistically when you have meals out and you have ice cream and you have all those sorts of things, that it's going to be more carby. Whereas in my cut so far, like I have been really thinking about my macros, because I just realised that they are actually really important. But whilst we're on holiday, I'm just not worrying about macros at all. But I have been finding some alternatives. I've been drinking Diet Coke, and I'm not really a Diet Coke girl. For example, when I went away with my friends, they drink like more alcohol than me, and then I'd have a Diet Coke if they're like day drinking and stuff. And obviously, like, calories and alcohol like matter, but to be honest, like, Fenna and I don't really drink anymore, do we?
No.
Only really like on occasion. So just because, I don't know, I don't really enjoy drinking anymore. You don't. Fenna doesn't like drinking at all. No. I do really like though when
Any food?
Go on then. Off he goes. The hungry monster in the house. Sometimes online it feels like people are permanently shredded, or like they just permanently look sick, but you don't really see the behind the scenes of like, okay, what happens when you have a birthday? What happens like if your friends want to go out for a meal? And what do you eat? Like, do you eat what you want to eat, or do you, like, what do these influencers do that like have the most insane six packs and they look lean all the time? I think sometimes when it comes to the guilt, it's like, because not a huge amount of people show that side of like what they actually do when they're like having a chill day, or like when do they rest, when do they have cheap meals. Then when you do go away, you kind of feel a bit guilty. Do I make sense? Like, does this make sense? I guess this is kind of just how I feel, really. You got such a big sweat patch on your back.
Come on.
Yeah.
Working hard.
Fenna and I are going to a department store.
Woo! Yeah, man.
To do some shopping. And we want to get a big fat tiramisu. Ooh, something that I've also been having during my cut is ice lollies. They are really low calorie. I mean, like, ridiculously low calorie. The only thing is that they are kind of high carb. So like, they can be up to like 15 grams of carbs, which if you're on a cut, then it can take up a lot of room. Oh my god.
If you're ever in Spain and you fancy something sweet, pick yourself up some of these little bad boys.
I could eat that whole cake. I could eat that whole cake. And that, I could. I love that. Doing it again. We have done our shopping. We're just doing a 5k. It's the next day. But I just thought I'd show you that this is the second one of the week. And then the other day we did 3k, no 4k. Today we're doing 5. We're running 7:30 pace. So we're chilled, but I don't know, it feels kind of hard. Fenna and I were supposed to go for a run and then go for a swim in the sea at the end, but we've forgotten and we don't have our swimming stuff, which is not good. Fenna's upset. Fenna desperately wants to go in the sea. I think it's going to be quite hard to then run, but here we are. We are, yeah, 3k in, and my heart rate is 160. I've noticed that whenever I hit 160, I start to get stitches, so back in the car, we were gonna have seafood for dinner, and I could kind of show you. Well, I wouldn't normally necessarily have seafood for dinner, but whilst we're here, we thought it would be nice, obviously. However, we have impulsively decided to get a Thai. And I know it sounds kind of weird because we're in Menorca and getting a Thai, but if you know, you know. There's this amazing Thai restaurant. I'm sitting outside and Fenna's just getting the tie. I know I've kind of gone over like the cardio aspect of my workouts, but diet is like such a massive part of a cut. And I remember when I first started my fitness journey, I always thought that you could out-train a bad diet, and you can't really. And I remember like for the first year of going to the gym, I didn't ever change my diet from previously before I had never gone to the gym. And within the first year, I remember being like, oh my God, my body hasn't really changed, and it's just because I hadn't changed what I was eating. I wasn't really eating much protein. And it's not that you need to necessarily track, but calories matter. And only in the last 6 months, since I started bulking at the end of last year, I really realised how much macros matter. And honestly, everything's just a learning curve, and everything is like, I'm just constantly learning. And I obviously always knew to eat a lot of protein, but I think in the last 3 years, I've never eaten as much protein as I have now. I never knew anything about carbs. I never knew anything about fat. And this time round, I've learnt so much. So I'll go into detail about what I've been doing. Whilst getting ready for dinner, I thought I would tell you what I've been doing, I guess, in terms of like my macros. Let's break it down. So in terms of food, calories and macros, these are things you need to think about. Your calories, macros, which are your fats, protein and carbs. So basically, in my bulk, I had 200 grams of carbs. Carbs give you energy, so you can push harder in the gym, which means more muscle. You will retain more water. So for example, if you have a cheat day and the next day like you weigh loads more, you feel bloated and all that stuff, it's water retention, and carbs will make your muscles look more plump. When I then went into my cut, I've then had 150 grams of carbs every single day, and I've kept it the same. I haven't changed it at all. Fats, in my bulk, I was probably eating about 60 grams of fat a day. Now I'm probably having 35, 40 grams of fat. Protein, in my bulk, I was eating 150 grams of protein. I've tried to aim for that in my cut as well. Although some days it's been like 130, but I've just stuck with that because my muscles need the fuel, and you want to retain as much muscle as you can while you're in your cut. You will lose muscle, but that's just what it is.
Sweet chili.
So many people have asked what I do for abs, and the answer is nothing. This is the first ab workout that I've done in a couple of weeks. When you weightlift as well, you will end up sort of training abs in a sense when you're doing like your compound movements. So for example, you're deadlifting or you're squatting, whatever. But the way that you actually get abs is not necessarily by training abs, it's a calorie deficit. You always have abs, right? And when you lose the fat, it then starts to show them, which is why you can see my abs. I haven't made any effort to train them. I've tried a little bit, but that's not the reason I have abs. I have abs because I've now lost fat off my stomach, and so you can then see my abs, basically. But that's not to say that you shouldn't train abs, because when I first started going to the gym, I did a cut, and I used to train Pilates like 3 times a week. I was obsessed with training abs, and I might have been a little bit lower body fat percentage, but I most definitely had a lot better abs than I have now. So being in a calorie deficit will show your abs, and training abs will most definitely help make them look better, and you'll be stronger. But I haven't gotten abs this time around from training abs, is what I'm basically trying to say. It's only been the last couple of weeks where my abs have really started to come out, and that's because like I'm coming towards the end of my cut, and you will lose your stomach fat last, basically. So I noticed that when I first started cutting, it came off my upper body first, then my legs, and then it's just started to come off my stomach, basically. And so just be patient, like don't rush your cuts. If you're gonna go into a calorie deficit, like it's not a couple of weeks thing that you do before you go on holiday. It's like something that you commit to for months. When I got on holiday, I was like, I want to lose another like 0.5 kg. And I think now I've seen my body in so many different lightings, like, whereas in the UK I was just going to the same gym, seeing my body in the same mirror lighting, at home, like, and now I've seen myself in pictures, in different mirrors, in gyms. I think I'm now at the lowest I kind of want to get to. And I think what I'm going to just do from now on is maintain, which is quite nice, in a sense. I think sometimes you have to like get out of your own bubble, and it's really easy to get obsessive with like, I just want to lose this, lose this, lose this, and I think I've just realised that I look good where I am, and I should just be proud of like how hard I've worked. And I hope that answers all of your questions. If you have any more, feel free to put some more questions in the comments. But yeah, bye guys.